We are witnessing history, y'all. We are witnessing history, and we are going to keep making history until we scrape the losers, the Confederates, the supremacists off of that mountain.
Tomorrow, let's be the sons and daughters of Martin. Let's make sure down at the Gold Dome, they don't write new laws to suppress more black folks. Make sure they don't make new laws to erase the history books. Make sure they don't write new laws to economically disenfranchise 3.3 million black people in this state. Because let's be clear, the children of Martin are fully grown, and we are demanding equity and equality in this generation to give honor to the last generation.
We are live, guys, in downtown Stone Mountain. This is a MLK parade, I believe. Stone Mountain High School, okay.
A little bit of history. Stone Mountain is one of the biggest healing crystals in the world.
This is not 1960, guys. This is 2023. This is not 1960. This is 2023.
Ready? And.
It is so great to see so many wonderful faces out here today to celebrate a day that is so important. This is Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday celebration, as well us the honorary renaming of the East and West Mountain after Dr. Martin Luther King. I just thank you all so much for taking a day off to make it a day on, to make this a special day. This is the city of Stone Mountain, and we are so proud to be in Stone Mountain. We're so proud that Dr. King in 1963 gave us an honorable mention.
Not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from...
A day like this, we'll have a day of reckoning, we'll have a day of remembrance, and that we will change the course of history when he mentioned Stone Mountain. So I am so proud. My name is Beverly Jones. I am your mayor, and I am here to represent unity, love, and peace and togetherness. I thank you all. We're going to have a wonderful program.
The true history of King, then you know that they erased a lot of his values that he represented towards the end of his life, where he fought very hard for reparations, where he fought very hard for us to receive the things that others were receiving. He not only wanted diversity and unity, but he wanted fairness in the things that we received, from community resources to land, to housing, to farming, to everything we see people from all over the other countries come here and receive every single day. I have to speak on that because it's a part of his history that is erased and was a part of the history that made them want to take his life. Martin Luther King was one of the greatest martyrs, one of the greatest humanitarians that we have ever and will ever see. So I ask you today, let's not just quote Martin. Let's carry on the torch. Because according to Martin, it is our civic duty to disobey unjust laws. Because an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. We've gotten away from the village mentality. We've gotten away from feeling like that child and that child and that child is our child. It's, oh, that ain't none of my business. It is our business. And that's why we're losing so many men and women and children, because we're walking right by our brothers and sisters. And that's not to say just the same color as your skin, but any skin color. We should not ignore these things happening to them. All right, just had to get that out. All right. Y'all ready to get started?
Take them to church.
One more verse. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us oh so far along the way.
Commissioner Lorraine Cochran Johnson of Super District 7 of DeKalb County.
Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I would go so far as to call him our own native son. But it's bigger than that, because right here where we stand, many people for many years saw a different side of Stone Mountain. I mention not our history because we have to contextualize where we are today. It was Reverend Hosea Williams who used to say that he who knows not his history is destined to repeat it. It's not critical race theory to talk about what we've endured. What I call it as an educator is a teachable moment. So today, as we raise up a tree topper and a new name, we lower barriers and we begin to put people who have given of themselves tirelessly for the love of all mankind. Because it's really important. Earlier today when I spoke, I said, it didn't matter and it doesn't matter what ship you came here on. Today we're all in the same boat. As an elected official, I don't know what it's going to take for us to understand that it's time we love each other more. It's time that community comes together in an unprecedented way. You can call my office and I will draft legislation. I recently passed an ordinance that requires video surveillance systems at all gas and service stations in DeKalb County, Georgia. Why did I do this? Because coming from LA, Lower Alabama, imagine that. I came from a group of people who taught me to simply follow the numbers. When you look at what we're experiencing here, you can call me and I can write legislation that affects gun control, traffic. But one cannot regulate the human spirit. That comes from inside. It comes from home. It comes from a love so great that one day each year we cannot stand here and acknowledge the service of a man who was willing to give his life, who understood that what I do is bigger than me. But then 364 days a year, we kill each other. So my challenge to you, as I heard little Adora, who is here somewhere, speak earlier today, and she said, what is your dream? It's time we dream like never before. But at some point you have to wake up. And that's when we put words to action. So today, let us be vigilant in a celebration. But let us continue the cry for not only democracy, but equality, for recognizing those who have given so much 365 days a year. And let it all begin with us. I don't care what race you are. I don't care about your religion. I'd hope that you're all spiritual. Because it's that love that'll make us treat each other with dignity and respect. But when I think about where we are today and what I've seen, I too have seen the promised land. So thank you for renaming of this street. And thank you for the dedication that everyone here has shown in unity and in love. Let us come together. Let us put aside divisive thoughts. And let us all understand that we may not have come in the same ship, but today we are in the same boat. Thank you. Blackbird high flies in the skies on fire.
Celebrate and to honor the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., one of the greatest sons of Georgia. And as the 13th president of the Georgia NAACP, I take honor in being able to speak to you today, not just about the history that Dr. King made in the 39 years that he was on this planet, but on the history that we will make as we finish his dream. Because the thing about the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, he always spoke to the next generation. He told you he'd been to the mountaintop and he looked over and he'd seen the promised land, but he told you that night before he would be assassinated, and let's be clear, he was assassinated. He said he might not get there with you, but we will get to the promised land. And so what we have to do is rededicate ourselves to actually getting to the promised land. And we cannot say we've reached the promised land when there are still relics of the past in the largest, biggest celebration of white supremacy in the world. So as I'm honored to be here to see the renaming of this street, I can't wait to come back to see the removal of the carvings of the lost cause, which is only about 3 miles from here on the face of Stone Mountain. So let's rededicate ourselves to Dr. King's dream. Let's make real the beloved community. I see so many different shades of humanity here today, and I can only remember being here 2 years ago when we were marching up and down this street against white nationalists. So this history is not too far removed from our generation. As Shar said, we've marched in streets all over this state, whether it was Brunswick or Atlanta, whether it was Waycross or Savannah, for Black lives. So as we honor Dr. King and the civil rights movement, I'm calling you into the social justice movement, because the same ills that Dr. King so profoundly talked about in Washington in 1963 are still happening today. And so as we honor him, we should rededicate ourselves to fighting for truth, justice, and making America live up to what it says on paper for everyone. So again, as the 13th president of the Georgia NAACP, as a 6th generation Georgian, as the great, 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 great grandson of a slave, I am honored to be here, not just to honor my greatest hero, but to rededicate Black people and white people to the struggle that he gave his life for. So today, after we finish all of the speeches, after we give all the awards and change all the street names, tomorrow, let's be the sons and daughters of Martin. Let's make sure down at the Gold Dome, they don't write new laws to suppress more Black folks. Make sure they don't make new laws to erase the history books. Make sure they don't write new laws to economically disenfranchise 3.3 million Black people in this state. Because let's be clear, the children of Martin are fully grown, and we are demanding equity and equality in this generation to give honor to the last generation. The last message is this: Martin has gone on to be with the Lord in the sky. He fought the good fight. He kept the faith. Now it's left up to us to do 2 things. 1, we have to earn the respect of our descendants by doing the work. And number 2, we have to earn the respect of our ancestors by making sure their deaths weren't in vain. So as the president of the Georgia State Conference, as a civil rights leader and a civil rights lawyer, I'm looking forward to y'all making those carvings come down. I'm looking forward to us changing all of the street names in this city. You know, there's still too many streets named after the Venerables. And if you don't know who the Venerables are, Google it. That monument is a symbol to white nationalism. The same white nationalism that attacked the U.S. Capitol. And so when we say, Mr. Griggs, those symbols don't affect me, ask yourself this question: why for the first time since the War of 1812 was a Confederate flag flown in the U.S. Capitol? This is very real. And we owe it to our children, we owe it to our grandchildren, and we owe it to the greatest Georgian that has ever walked these red clay streets to be our ancestors' wildest dreams by finishing his work, completing the dream. I look forward to fighting with you. I look forward to marching with you. And I look forward to honoring Dr. King with you. Thank you.
We get a better round of applause for the mayor of Stone Mountain, Dr. Beverly Jones.
We need your advice. We don't want you to just come out on occasions like this. We want you to come out when we're making decisions. We need you to come out when bad decisions are made. And we need your support to get this town together. And right here today at Stone Mountain, we are changing the name of the street. But it's just not a symbol of changing the name of the street. It's deeper than that. We are changing minds. Every time someone drives up and down that street, we just hope that it clicks. The love, the loyalty, the inspiration. But more importantly, we hope the struggle touches them every time they drive down the street, and it makes them a better person. More importantly, come to City Hall and support justice, support what we're doing to the city. It's not just about justice. We're working on infrastructure. We're working on our parks. There's a lot of things that's going on here, some great things in this city.
Please give it up one more time for the beautiful Dr. Beverly Jones, the mayor of Stone Mountain.
Amen. I do see some council members. If you would please come up. Without them and their vote, it wouldn't have been possible. Oh, yeah. See, in this government, no man's an island. I need everyone. And we need, like the song says, we need you. And so that's how we do this. Without the council members, there would not have been a vote. Without a vote, there would not been a passing of moving forward with this. And again, you know, we are a team. City manager. Okay, city manager. We thank you as well. You know, come on. There's room for everyone at the table.
Just a side note here, I found out that the lady that just walked up, her name is Teresa Crow. She voted against the street signs being renamed Martin Luther King. She said the funds could have been allocated towards potholes and other issues that Stone Mountain needed to address. So I found it interesting that she wanted to get into the picture and get into the photo op, even though she voted against it. All right, let's get back to the video.
Yes, So again, I thank everyone for your support in this decision. And I just think this is a great moment for all of us, a joyous moment. And may God continue to bless us. And with the street, this is on every corner. So the purpose of the prayer from all of the ministers is because I wanted each street to be blessed. We got to keep blessing our streets, keep anointing our streets. And so as you heard from these powerful speakers, from the youngest to the oldest, I don't know who that might be, but our streets are being blessed right now. We're doing an anointing right now in our community. We're doing an I present to the city of Stone Mountain, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive.
Woo! Yeah.
Thank you. And may God continue for us to do great changes that would make a difference.
Next, we will hear from the Unity Choir.
Okay, that's a video. This is a picture. Thank you, sir. Now, once again, thank you for what you did. That vote, I know it helped make this a reality. Me just being a citizen of DeKalb County, I appreciate it. You know, a young brother in the community.
I appreciate hearing from you. So
thank you.
Reach out to me anytime.
I got you. I would definitely do so. Gil Freeman, or Gil, excuse me, Gil Freeman.
Yeah.
I will be. I'm opening up a vegan organic shop on Wellborn and Redan. I'm an entrepreneur. We'll be in touch. Thank you for your service, man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
How American for the Freedom Bell to also be 3 miles away from the largest monument in Confederate history, the largest monument of white supremacy in the world,
is right down the street from the Freedom Bell. Wow. This is American with a K.
Look at your neighbor. Look at your family. Look at your friends. Will you still fight against hatred and help the violence of the world to end? Is there freedom in Stone Mountain of Georgia, in Tennessee, and on the Colorado mountain tops? Is freedom in California, New York, Pennsylvania, D.C., or has the message of freedom dropped? Is there freedom in the valley, the city, and is there freedom in the fields? Are you standing, expanding, and demanding together, shouting freedom for real? On January 15th of 1929, you're a reverend and a trailblazer too, to take up. Steal away, steal away, steal away, steal away, home, steal away, steal away. I ain't got long today. Steal away, steal away, home, steal away, steal away. I ain't got long to stay.
Please give it up for Miss Tanya Dillard Kennedy. Oh man, you got me over here about in tears. That was very, very powerful. I keep telling y'all, I don't know who all ordained, but you don't need a piece of paper to be ordained for what you do. You are very, very powerful. Whew. We are witnessing history, y'all. We are witnessing history, and we are going to keep making history until we scrape the losers, the Confederates, the supremacists off of that mountain. It is no way that we can continue in the birthplace of civil rights with the largest Confederate monument in the world. And just in case y'all don't know, just a little bit of history. Stone Mountain is one of the biggest healing crystals in the world. They wanted that because kings, chiefs, shamans, royals travel from all over the world to go to Stone Mountain for healing. It's not a mistake that when you get to the top, you feel serenity. You feel healing. Y'all never noticed that it's literally crystals as you walk up? It is literally quartz crystals on, inside, and around Stone Mountain. Look it up. It's the largest piece of open granite in the world. That is ours. It belongs to the indigenous people of this land. And we taking everything back. And we gonna continue to let freedom ring. I was born in a little tent. Oh, yes it will. And it's been too hard living, but I'm afraid.
From Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom
Before you go, just before you go.
Oh, ma'am.
We would be remiss
were you one of the
if we
people
did
that was
not
like
thank
instrumental in
the
helping this become a reality?
mayor of
Because I see
Stone
you went up there.
Georgia and her entire staff for an awesome day today.
I was going to thank you. I thought you were one of the voters.
Mountain team. Come on.
But you vote against it?
Take everyone over to the left. Okay, the line is forming.
I didn't go for the toppers.
Oh, the topper. Oh, you didn't want the name change. You wanted it to. What was it changed from?
Well, it wasn't real. It was an addition to the existing name.
Got you.
Because it's confusing and a lot. I mean, we just have so many other priorities in town, like, you know, potholes everywhere. But the vote prevailed.
I was just trying to thank everybody who actually like made it a reality, but like I thought you were one of the people who voted to say, yeah, we need to change it. Sorry about the music being loud, but basically she said the name change is an addition and she felt it's confusing. There's potholes everywhere, and she just felt that the funds could have been allocated differently. That's the beauty of democracy, because we were able to still accomplish the goal by a democratic vote, and everyone is still able to peacefully coexist. It was a great event. I loved every moment of it. Thank you and salute to Shar Bates. Thank you to the mayor, to all of the politicians, Lorraine Cochran. Thank you to Brother Giggs, the attorney. Thank you to everyone who took time out of their day to show this solidarity of unity. And the mission will continue, because as long as the world's largest Confederate is carved on the side of the mountain, we still have work to do. But I enjoy doing it in a democratic way, in a peaceful way. I was able to speak to even what some would consider the ops. The councilman who voted against the toppers, the street signs being changed. I was able to speak with her, and she was very polite. She was very, very welcoming, and that is what democracy is all about. Y'all have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments what you thought.